It is a test series that just keeps on giving. At the start of the day, 374 runs or 9 wickets. At the end of the day, we thought we were going to have a result. Everyone was getting ready for it until the rain came. So it's still down to 35 runs for England, 4 wickets. If Chris Woakes bats, he had his whites on today, we're going to have to come back tomorrow, which for some is a good thing. For others, it's a little bit deflating, isn't it, Nas?
Most importantly, for viewers and fans that have paid good money, remember tomorrow is a work day, and this sort of series deserves a finale in front of a big crowd at an iconic cricket ground, the Oval. That would have been some finale tonight. You may have just knocked off 35, or you may have seen Chris Woakes walk down the stairs in a sling. I'm just wondering if they could have done anything. They had like 42, 43 minutes to play with, and within the laws and the playing regulations, if the groundsman had said no, we can't get the covers off in that time, the umpires would have to call stumps. I'm just wondering, you do have the option of the extra half hour, don't you? If you feel you can get a result at 7:30, if there was 10 to win, the umpires would have given the team the extra half hour. I was just wondering if you could give the extra half hour at 6:42 and say to the teams, it has to come from the teams, we're willing to push that back half an hour. Are you okay? Both teams, are you okay to do that? If one of the teams, if India could easily say, no, our bowlers are exhausted, we'll give them a night's sleep, then you say, absolutely fine. Or England say, no, we've had a mad hour there, we want to come back tomorrow. That's fine. But I'm just wondering if you could have a bit of common sense in there. But it's a shame. We'll come back tomorrow and it'll be a wonderful finale tomorrow.
So, DK, it could almost come down to potentially even taking it a little bit out of the hands of the groundsman and back into the officials' hands to try and allow that scenario to happen.
Yeah, on a day like this, especially with a test series of this magnitude, I think it would be nice to have 20,000 people at the ground cheering whichever team won. I mean, it was either going to go England 3-1, which is what it looked like for a majority of the day, and then suddenly after tea, India's come back and they've shown some renewed excellence with the ball, and the ball was swinging, so much was happening, there was so much drama, a little bit of rain, and I agree the rules are the rules, but I kind of like what Nasser said, that half an hour extension that you get meant, even if it meant it needed to start at 6:45, it could well have been 11, 12 overs, it could have gone either way, the crowd would have gotten to see the result, and it's a nice feeling to know that both teams have gone so hard, you give them the option. They don't want to use it. Fair enough. Everybody's going to come back tomorrow for whatever it's worth. But today, I think a little bit more common sense would have been to ask. I'm not saying it should happen. To ask, I think, is the fair thing to do.
I think it's still fair to say that everyone leaving the ground now is still seeing a magnificent day of
You can almost see the disappointment, when it was announced on screen. They were waiting till then. And the moment they announced it saying it's called off, that's when you can see the horde of people just walking away. And that tells you that they wanted it as well. They were just waiting. They were hoping that it would restart when obviously the news came on the big screen saying thank you for the day. You can see people just a bit disappointed.
The day started quite slowly. I think that heavy roller flattened out the wicket a little bit. Duckett came on, he put in another 20. Ollie Pope came and went for 27. And then India started to find just a little way back in.
They did in the morning. Ben Duckett looked absolutely pristine in the morning till he got out. And then there was another wicket, and that's when you felt, okay, India and well and truly with a chance. But in the middle session, there's nothing that happened. Both those batters looked so comfortable. Harry Brook, that catch. It did happen, no doubt about it. I think it's a very odd moment for Siraj, who actually should be absolutely spoken about, and in the most eloquent manner for the way he's gone about in the series. He's been a warrior. 20 wickets in this series so far. Thrice so far, he's bowled more than 160 overs in a series, 150 overs in a series, which is quite extraordinary coming from India, having that consistency and the kind of strength it takes to play all 5 test matches. And as you said, I'm just digressing a bit too much. Great session for India at the start before I think England plowed back again.
Well, you digressed into the right area because Harry Brook was on 19. Siraj had actually gone off the ground just to rest up and change spikes or whatever it might be. He came onto the ground, straight down at fine leg, and Harry Brook skied one to him, caught the ball beautifully, had no idea where the boundary rope was, and then goes over. And that's, well, time will tell tomorrow morning, but it could be the match.
It could well be, and in our era, my era, that catch would be relatively difficult because you weren't used to that sort of thing. In the modern cricketer, and DK's worked with a lot of modern cricketers, that's a relatively easy chance. You just either stop or you flick it up and then you jump back in. So he'll be disappointed. There'll be a little bit of lack of concentration because he's been off the field. I think there was also either a fitness trainer there. Nasser was there just to see, so he may have been talking about his body, and then suddenly, and that is Test cricket, Mel, you know, you are there, you've worked hard for 5 tests, and then that one, in fact, it's going to be probably 2 moments with Siraj, the moment at Lords where he's battled hard and he's 22, and then that moment, he does not deserve to be on the losing side, and I hope he's not remembered for that catch. They may well win the game tomorrow, who knows? A little bit like Ather's mentioned it on commentary, the Shane Warne moment here in the 2005, had worked so hard to get all those wickets and then drops KP. He reminded us of the Trent Boult catch as well in the World Cup final. So you feel for Siraj because he has worked so hard, and he kept coming right at the end there. He's played the whole series with a smile on his face.
Harry Brook's innings, though, it was one where he started off slowly, and then he got a bit of flurry on at the back end of the first session, had the luncheon break, and then the partnership with Joe Root was absolutely pivotal. Just in terms of, I mean, he's got, 10 centuries now in 50 innings, which is a ridiculous return for such a young player. Just his maturity of the innings, just a comment on that?
I think he's a poster boy for baseball. He just comes out there, plays with a lot of flair, takes on bowlers, does it his way. The beauty is, he is the kind of batsman, when he gets out, you're going to think, what is that shot? What are you even thinking playing that shot? And then when he gets going, you're like, wow, now that is serious talent here. And we're always going to keep jumping on both sides of the fence. But the fact is that as long as he trusts his game the way he is doing right now, and the consistency is there to see. I just heard Nas speak about, I think every 5 innings he's got 100, which is phenomenal for any Test cricketer. You can do it however you want. It's your way at the end of the day. And he's done it beautifully for England. And he's setting up Test matches with the speed at which he plays. It's quite hard to bowl at as well because he's pretty unpredictable. You know, there's the odd ones, he steps out, then he stays back. And as a bowler, you just need to be very aware of what you've done. If you bowled a short ball and he's pulled you, you better be ready for the one that he's stepping out at. So you need to be a bit clever. But the fact is that he's batting really well for England, and that augurs well for the future.
I think I've almost run out of superlatives for Joe Root as well. I mean, it's been a phenomenal series. He's just broken records upon records. The way in which he batted today, pivotal, yes, for the team. Probably get a little bit goosebumpy when I think about the celebration as well. So he goes out there knowing that if he hits runs, he's going to get England into a brilliant position to win the Test match. But he's also got Thorpe's headband in his pocket, and you just go, the guy is all class.
Yeah, superb cricketer, superb human being, isn't he? I mean, Thorpe absolutely loved him. I always say the story that I was travelling somewhere and he'd be WhatsApping me, Thorpe, going, you need to be talking about Joe Root. He's going to be a proper player. And Joe velcroed himself to Graham, and he learnt so much from Thorpe playing spin. Graham was one of the great players of spin. And he meant, I think, who was it? Brody went to Rooty's house, didn't he? And we did that feature, and Rooty in his front room's got one of Gold Graham's Kookaburra bats that he still picks up, and it was a great moment. Thorpe, we've done something for Thorpe. The Oval's done something for Thorpe this week to remember Graham Thorpe. Amanda did that wonderful interview with Ian Ward. It's been an emotional week for anyone who knew, and more importantly, the family, and just the class of this human being, Joe Root, to, in his own special moment, just to think of Graham looking down, being so proud of his young protege, sort of grinding out another 100. I say grinding, he doesn't grind out runs. You look up and Joe Root's got another 100, 39, Test hundreds, unbelievable.
You asked me when we were on air, who's the more important wicket, Joe Root or Harry Brook? If you look at how the day unfolded, you could have said, oh, DK, you should have said Harry Brook because he actually created a lot more damage. But it is Joe Root. I'd still say it was Joe Root's wicket because with Harry Brook, you almost feel you could have a dismissal round the corner. The problem with Joe Root is he's one of those when he's batting, doesn't look like he's scoring runs, but at the end of it, he scored 50. He's built a partnership of 100, 120. He's taken the team close to victory. And only when Joe Root got out, I really believed, okay, India have a chance. If he was around, I still feel England is in very safe territory.
You must be pretty proud of your team. I mean, after tea, they look pretty flat and quiet. The fact they're still in this game, the way they came back in that last hour was phenomenal.
Absolutely, Nas. I don't think anyone should be more proud of the Indian team than all the fast bowlers. They've given everything, and the attitude of this team. Look, it's a young team, and they lost 3-1 in Australia. All right, that was a hammering, though. They might end up losing 3-1 tomorrow, but this was not a hammering. They stood up every time. They fought. They did everything they could. Sometimes out of their skin in terms of skill levels as well. Yes, they got some nicer batting wickets to bat on, but they made use of it. They got some big runs. Their batting stood up. I think this Indian team is here to stay for the next decade. You'll almost see the same set of players play for a while now.
Yeah, I think if they do lose tomorrow, it's 3-1. I don't think people think of the result. I think they'll just think of the way in which
I
they've
will.
played.
In the podcast with
okay.
Dinesh.
All right.
In the podcast with Dinesh. Yesterday, DK was like ringing everyone at Sky saying, Monday we are doing a podcast. It is going to be 2-2. You don't have to pay me for it. I'm doing the Sky Cricket podcast. If it's 3-1, are you still doing the Sky Cricket podcast? Or is it, what line was it you described it as?
The game is not over yet.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Just because he put you in a beige suit too. Right, tomorrow, 35 runs, 4 wickets. Gut feel is if it needs be, Chris Woakes will walk down those stairs.
Absolutely, he's going to be doing a
Wing
pump.
clipped.
Yep. We have some footage. We'll show it in the morning of Malcolm Marshall with one hand, very similar because he'd bust his left arm and he was swinging with his bottom hand against the mighty Paul Allott. So it could be that it'll be absolutely the perfect end to the series if that is the case. You hope if you're an England fan it won't get to that, but you never know.
Okay, where are we going? Win, loss?
I think England are ahead at this stage.
England are ahead at this stage.
Jamie Smith batting there with obviously a bowling all-rounder come in, Gus Atkinson. As much as I don't like the sheepish smile on his face, I would say England at the moment. I dread not the result, the podcast that follows probably.
I am going to thoroughly enjoy this podcast. Fellas, thank you so much. We're back tomorrow. Simple equation, 35 runs or 4 wickets. It should be done in the first session. Join us then for the review.